Born on YouTube. White collar, white trash, deplorable from Pennsylvania, John Walter. Who's going to the Trump rally tonight? Why? Because Trump is the shit. And Hillary is crook. So, today, we're going to talk about last night's debate. Why? Just because we can. And so we're gonna start with this clip that we got from Donald Trump's Facebook page. Just some key stuff that happened last night. And I mean, let's face it, folks. I don't know how many people noticed it, but there was so much bullshit coming out of Hillary Clinton's mouth that the flies wanted to get in there. So let's start it off with a little bit of this. Let's review this first one.
Concept was to make America great again. When I watch the deals being made, when I watch what's happening with some horrible things like Obamacare, where your health insurance and health care is going up by numbers that are astronomical, 68%, 59%, 71%. When I look at the Iran deal and how bad a deal it is for us, it's a one-sided transaction where we're giving back $150 billion to a terrorist state, really the number one terrorist state. We've made them a strong country from really a very weak country just 3 years ago. When I look at all of the things that I see and all of the potential that our country has, we have such tremendous potential.
All right, so that's video number one.
It's just awfully...
Let's pause this. So, Obamacare needs to go away. I don't know how many people out there went and tried to get on Obamacare, and because they said, you have to go to the website, you have to. You don't have a choice. And then you get fined for not having it. Well, you can't buy something if you don't have the money to buy the goddamn shit, and it's expensive. And just like was brought up last night, it's fucking garbage because people can't afford it. So
I ain't never seen somebody backtrack and backpedal so much. I'm watching the debate in there on Hulu, and I ain't never seen such backtracking shit. She's unbelievable. She ain't gonna do anything different with the Obama bullshit than but keep it the same.
I don't know if you guys heard any of that because he's over there hiding today. He's camera shy today for now.
Camera shy.
But I think this next clip was my favorite part of the whole debate that I watched last night. And I'm pretty sure there was quite a few people in the crowd that even though they weren't supposed to clap or cheer any of it on, they did it anyways. Why? Because it's the truth.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
It's where she belongs, in jail. If you or I did, like Trump said when he was answering that question, if we did a fraction, we made a fraction of any of the
1/5.
Yeah, 1/5.
1/5 of
what she's done, we'd be in jail. Locked up. Throw away the key. See ya. Enjoy your bread and water, bitch. The Trump-Pence. See what the next clip brings.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Let's see what else.
Because you'd be in jail. I'd like to know, why aren't you
brought up the email?
No, it hasn't. It hasn't. And it hasn't been finished at all.
Ken Parkway has a question.
It's nice to 1 on 3.
Yeah.
The two worst people.
You got the Clinton News Network representative.
Yeah.
And you know, and Trump's right. It was 3 against 1. At one point in one of the videos, and I'm hoping it's in here, the lady from ABC actually starts debating over what Trump knows and why his explanation of why we shouldn't tell the enemy, hey, we're coming. I did 12 years, and ain't no mission that I ever went on when I was in Iraq or Afghanistan that said, hey, we're coming in 3 or 4 days. We just showed the hell up.
Send them a certified letter.
I mean, yeah, like the tornado says, what do we got to send them a certified letter? Dear ISIS, we're coming. We'll be there in 3 to 4 days. Expect us somewhere around 12 o'clock your time. And, yeah, ain't going to happen. The propaganda that the military uses is to get Muslims to, just as Trump said last night, if you see something going on and you're a Muslim here in the United States, don't sit on it and pretend that you don't know what's going on. Say something. You have to be our eyes and ears to help fix the problem.
Turn the light off because she was sleeping still. Well, don't call it like it's a racist thing either, because it's nothing to be racist when you're protecting your country. It has nothing to do with race.
No.
This next question comes from the public through the Bipartisan Open Debate Coalition's online forum, where Americans submitted questions that generated millions of votes. This question involves WikiLeaks' release of purported excerpts of Secretary Clinton's paid speeches, which she has refused to release, and one line in particular in which you, Secretary Clinton, purportedly say you need both a public and private position on certain issues. So, 2 from Virginia asks, is it okay for politicians to be two-faced? Is it acceptable for a politician to have a private stance on issues? Secretary Clinton, well, your 2 minutes.
Right, as I recall, that was something I said about Abraham Lincoln after having seen the wonderful Steven Spielberg movie called Lincoln. It was a master class watching President Lincoln get the Congress to approve the 13th Amendment. It was principled and it was strategic. And I was making the point that it is hard sometimes to get the Congress to do what you want to do, and you have to keep working at it. And yes, President Lincoln was trying to convince some people. He used some arguments. Convincing other people, he used other arguments. That was a great, I thought, a great display of presidential leadership. But, you know, let's talk about what's really going on here, Martha, because our intelligence community just came out and said in the last few days that the Kremlin, meaning Putin and the Russian government, are directing the attacks, the hacking on American accounts to influence our election. And WikiLeaks is part of that, as are other sites where the Russians hack information. We don't even know if it's accurate information, and then they put it out. We have never in the history of our country been in a situation where an adversary, a foreign power, is working so hard to influence the outcome of the election. And believe me, they're not doing it to get me elected. They're doing it to try to influence the election for Donald Trump. Now, maybe because he has praised Putin, maybe because he says he agrees with a lot of what Putin wants to do, maybe because he wants to do business in Moscow. I don't know the reasons. But we deserve answers. And we should demand that Donald release all of his tax returns so that people can see what are the entanglements and the financial relationships
we're going to get to that later.
He has
Secretary
with Russians
Clinton,
and
you're out
other
of time.
foreign powers.
Well, I think I should
Mr.
respond
Trump.
because it's so ridiculous. Look, now she's blaming, she got caught in a total lie. Her papers went out to all her friends at the banks, Goldman Sachs and everybody else, and she said things, WikiLeaks, that just came out. And she lied. Now she's blaming the lie on the late, great Abraham Lincoln. That's one that I haven't. Okay, Honest Abe. Honest Abe never lied. That's the good thing. That's the big difference between Abraham Lincoln and you. That's a big, big difference. We're talking about some difference. But as far as other elements of what she was saying, I don't know Putin. I think it would be great if we got along with Russia because we could fight ISIS together as an example, but I don't know Putin. But I notice anytime anything wrong happens, they like to say, the Russians, she doesn't know if it's the Russians doing the hacking. Maybe there is no hacking. But they always blame Russia. And the reason they blame Russia is because they think they're trying to tarnish me with Russia. I know nothing about Russia. I know about Russia, but I know nothing about the inner workings of Russia. I don't deal there. I have no businesses there. I have no loans from Russia. I have a very, very great balance sheet. So great that when I did the old post office on Pennsylvania Avenue, the United States government, because of my balance sheet, which they actually know very well, chose me to do the old post office between the Pennsylvania Avenue, Congress, chose me to do the old post office. One of the primary things, in fact, perhaps the primary thing, was balance sheet. But I have no loans with Russia. You could go to the United States government and they would probably tell you that because they know my sheet very well in order to get that development I had to have. Now, the taxes are a very simple thing. As soon as I have, first of all, I pay hundreds of millions of dollars in taxes. Many of her friends took bigger deductions. Warren Buffett took a massive deduction. Soros, who's a friend of hers, took a massive deduction. Many of the people that are giving her all this money that she can do many more commercials than me took massive deductions. I pay hundreds of millions of dollars in taxes. But as soon as my routine audit's finished, I'll release my returns. I'll be very proud to. They're
Thank you,
actually
Mr.
quite
Trump.
All right, so enough of that.
80, it
video
seems like
stuff.
84 to 89.
Pop this out of
seems
here.
to be the same.
Let's make this
When I
bigger.
look on the catalogs for anything,
So that's where you have it.
Look it up at AutoZone.
3 against 1. You have
I could probably buy
the Clinton News Network representative Anderson there, and you have the ABC lady who's a retard and tries to debate with Trump over shit, and it's stupid because she's stupid. So we'll see what happens, but have fun. See you later. I'm out of here.